Hello, my dear students. Namaskar. Topic for today's quick review is post and core or restoration of endodontically treated tooth. This topic is very important as it comes as a short note in the theory exam, as a pedagogy discussion for the postgraduate students, and number of MCQs are framed. Besides, it is an important topic for the clinical practice. So let's begin. The very first important question that comes with this topic is why special techniques are required to restore the endodontically treated tooth. The reasons are the tooth structure loss, the physical changes, and the aesthetic changes. The loss of the tooth structure can be due to the caries, the endodontic treatment, and the previous restorations. Due to all this, the retention of the subsequent restoration, it becomes difficult, and also there are chances of tooth fracture during the function. If we talk about the physical changes, after the endodontic treatment, the tooth becomes irreversibly altered by the physical properties. First, there is dehydration of the dentine, and second, there are changes in the collagen cross linking. Now, this reduces the strength and the toughness of the teeth. Very important, darkening of the non-vital teeth, that is the aesthetic changes which occur due to the biochemically altered dentine. It actually modifies the light refraction, so the tooth appears dull and dark. Then the inadequate cleaning and shaping during the root canal treatment, especially in the coronal area, and the dark colored root canal filling material. The hue of this results in poor aesthetics. So due to all these reasons, the endodontically treated tooth needs to be specially considered. Now let us discuss the clinical indications of post and core. Where to give post and core with crown? It will depend on the following factors. First, the amount of the remaining tooth structure. Second, the anatomical position, whether the tooth is anterior or posterior, and the forces on the tooth. Then what are the restorative requirements of the tooth, along with what are the aesthetic requirements of the tooth. Coming to the amount of remaining tooth structure. The tooth is considered structurally sound if more than half of the tooth structure is present, and in these cases only the coronal restorations are sufficient. No need for post and core. Now the structurally compromised teeth. If the tooth is structurally compromised, such teeth, they are more prone to root fracture, endodontic failure, dislodgement of the core due to the insufficient coronal structure. If we directly give crown in these cases, what will happen? There will be biologically width invasion and periodontal injury. So in these cases, we do periodontal crown lengthening or we do orthodontic extrusion. Once we have received the coronal structure, we go for post-core with crown. Coming to the anatomical position, if we have sound anterior teeth, we don't give post and core. Okay, only in condition where there is extensive loss of tooth structure, where the tooth is serving as an abutment, or where the successful bleaching is not possible, we go for post and core with crown. While the posterior teeth, they are more susceptible to fracture because of the greater loading and they are closer to the muscle of mastication. So the tooth should always receive the crown in the posterior. That means the cuspal coverage is must. And regarding the post and core, again if there is less than half of the tooth structure present, we go for post and core. The post is less preferred in the posterior because the canals are narrow and curved in the posteriors. Coming to the restorative requirements. Now, it will depend on the restorative requirements of the tooth whether it has to be used as FPD abutment, RPD abutment, long span bridges, or as distal extension RPD abutment. As we see in the picture, the tooth has to be used as an abutment. Coming to the aesthetic requirements, the interior teeth till the mesiobuccal cusp of the first molar in the maxilla and second premolar of the mandibular teeth come under the aesthetic zone. So in this we prefer the tooth colored post, composite resins or the ceramic cores or the ceramic crown materials. These are the fiber posts which can be covered with the metal free crowns to give the natural appearance to the non-vital teeth. Now let us understand the components of the post and core. What is the post? Post is the restorative material which is placed in the root of a structurally damaged tooth. Okay, in which the additional retention is needed for the core and the crown. And what is the core? Core is the restorative material which is placed in the coronal area. This is the core. C for core, C for coronal. The post in the root, it retains the core, and the core along with the remaining coronal tooth structure. This retains the crown, and the cement or the luting agent, it will join all the components. Now coming to the requirements of the post and the core. First, for the post. The post should protect the root and the crown. It should achieve retention within the root, and it should provide retention to the core and the crown. It should have good marginal cement seal. It should be visible on the radiograph. It should have good retrievability. It should be biocompatible with good aesthetics. Now the core. Core is the material which will help us to build the coronal structure. So first of all, it should have adequate compressive strength and flexural strength, because the crown will come over it and all the stresses will be placed on it. Then it should be resistant to the leakage of oral fluids. It should be dimensionally stable. Ease of manipulation is very important when we are using a direct material. We are building the coronal structure with a direct restorative material. It should bond with the remaining tooth structure. It should inhibit dental caries. It should be biocompatible with good aesthetics, especially when we are going for the metal free crowns. Now we know the requirements, so let us discuss the various post systems. Post systems can be metallic and non-metallic. In the metallic, we have the nickel chromium, cobalt chromium, stainless steel, titanium, or the noble alloys are also used. They can be prefabricated and custom. The prefabricated are the ready-made. You just have to prepare the canals and then you have to lute the post. This is the prefabricated post, and this is the customized post. For the customized post, you have to first make the impression of the canal, do the casting. The post and the core in the one form. The customized post core are mainly given where there are small teeth, where the multiple cores have to be placed, or where the angles of the cores need to be changed. Coming to the prefabricated, they can be active or passive. The active posts are the threaded. They provide the maximum retention but may cause microscopic fractures in the dentine during the insertion, and the canal preparation is also slightly less than the post diameter. The passive post can be tapered and parallel. The tapered post, they just mimic the natural canal shape. Just see the picture. But they provide minimum retention amongst the three. The parallel post, they provide greater retention than the tapered, but they need more tooth preparation and they place more stresses than the tapered post. Now come to the non-metallic post. First, what are the disadvantages of the metallic posts that are overcome by the non-metallic? First, the metallic post was grey colored, so they were unaesthetic. They left a black margin. And second, the metal, they have high modulus of elasticity. than the dentine. So there are more chances of tooth fracture with a metal post. The fiber post and the carbon post and the zirconia. These three are the non-metallic posts which we are using. Amongst these, the fiber post and the carbon post, they have similar modulus of elasticity with the dentine. So there are less chances of tooth fracture with the fiber post and the carbon post. This is the fiber post and this is the carbon post. Just from the picture you can make it out one important difference. The carbon posts are black in color. So the fiber posts are aesthetic and the carbon posts are anesthetic. They will be either used below the PFM crowns or in the molars. Coming to the zirconia. This is the zirconia post and core. They are mainly fabricated by the CAD-CAM technique. They have high modulus of elasticity. So the chances of tooth fracture is again high with the zirconia post. One more disadvantage of zirconia post is they are very difficult to retrieve. Their retrievability is very difficult. Now, dear students, let me ask you a few questions from the post systems. Which post you will give in a small circular canal? Yes, the tapered post, because they mimic the root canal. Okay, so they will be given in the small circular canals with minimum tooth preparation. Which post you will use in the flared canals? Can you guess? Yes, the custom post. In the flared canal we will give the custom post because the other post system will not be completely adaptable. So you will make the impression, do the casting and form the custom post. Which post you will give for the maximum retention, where the maximum retention is required? Yes, the threaded post. Threaded post provides the maximum retention. Now, which post has the advantage of dentine bonding? The fiber post and the carbon post. They have the advantage of dentine bonding. They form a single unit after adhesion. I hope now this picture is clear to you. So let's move to the core systems. Now, we know the core will replace the missing coronal structure that forms the shape of the tooth preparation over which the crown will come. These core systems can be the cast core or the plastic core. The cast core is obtained after the casting. First we make the impression of the canal, then we do the casting of the wax pattern and we obtain either the metallic cast core or the zirconia. The metallic cast core can be made up of the nickel chromium, cobalt chromium or the noble alloys. Then the zirconia cast core is mainly obtained by the CAD-CAM technique. There is one piece, the post and the core. Coming to the plastic core, they are the direct restorative material which can be used to build up the coronal structure. We can use amalgam, glass ionomer cement, resin modified glass ionomer cement and the core building composites. Now we know all the systems, so let us discuss the principles of tooth preparation. Because to place any system, we need to prepare the tooth. The principles are conservation of the tooth, retention form, and the resistance form. We need to conserve the tooth structure as much as possible, both the root canal and the coronal tissue. Over enlargement of the canal can perforate or weaken the root leading to fracture as we see in this picture. If this coronal tissue is more than 2 mm, then the post design will not make much difference. But if this is less than 2 mm, as we find in most of the cases, the fracture resistance depends on the post design. This sound tooth structure that encircles the tooth is called as ferrule. As we see in this picture, the ferrule is present and the ferrule is not present. The tooth without the ferrule will be more prone to fracture. A ferrule reinforces the tooth It provides the retention to the crown and also decreases the incidence of fracture. And mind, longer the ferrule, more the fracture resistance. Minimum 1 millimeter of ferrule is essential. And always remember, the crown should always terminate on the sound tooth. Then comes the retention form. Retention of a post is affected by its preparation geometry, the post length and the diameter, surface texture, and the luting agent. We all know that canals can be elliptical or they can be circular in cross section. Canals with the elliptical cross section should have a taper of 6 to 8 degree when we are preparing, and the crown and the with the circular cross section like the maxillary central incisor, they should be prepared with the minimum taper for good retention. If we talk about the post length, then the longer the length, more will be the retention. In this picture you can see very short post length, so it will surely fail. With this we have to maintain the 4 to 5 millimeter of apical seal of gutta percha when we are preparing the canal. Or we can go for 3/4 of the root that can be used as the post length. Okay, now coming to the diameter, the post diameter, it is on contrary. If we increase the post diameter, it will weaken the root. So it is not recommended. Post should not be wider than 1/3 of the diameter of the root, or minimum of 2 millimeter of tooth structure should be present around it. In the posterior teeth, we know there are curved and the narrow canals. So the longer posts are not advocated in the posteriors. Wider canal is selected for the major post. For example, we can use the palatal canal in the maxillary molars and distal canal in the mandibular molars for placing the post. Along with, we can place a short post in the other canal, which gives a anti-rotation effect to the post and core assembly. Coming to the surface texture, the threaded posts are the most retentive, but they produce greater chances of root fracture as they are active and they engage the dentinal wall. Serrated or roughened posts are more retentive as compared to the smoother ones. Then comes the luting agent. The choice of the luting agent has actually little effect on the post retention if it has a good fit with the canal. And the resin cements have an added advantage that they bond to the dentine and the post material, so they show less micro leakage. We can also use zinc phosphate or glass ionomer cements. Coming to the resistance form. Resistance form, they govern the stress distribution. The greater stress concentration is found at the shoulder and at the apex. Stress decreases as the post length increases. And the parallel sided post, they place greater stress as compared to the tapered post. This we can see in the picture. The length is increasing, the tapered versus the parallel post. You know, when we place the post in the circular canals, they should not rotate. This is called as rotational resistance. So a groove, groove can be placed in the bulkiest portion of the root, which gives a anti-rotational element to the post. Now, let us understand the step-by-step procedure of doing the post core. Step 1 is the radiographic evaluation of the length. We have to determine the post length with the help of the radiograph, and then we have to remove the gutta percha. We have to maintain the apical seal of 4 to 5 millimeter of the gutta percha. We can remove it with the chemical means, thermal means, or the mechanical means. Thermal with the help of a warmed endodontic plugger, or we can use rotary instrument to remove the gutta percha. Then we have to prepare the canals. We use piezo reamer for preparing the canals, piezo reamer for the post space, and Gates Glidden drills for the core. And these instruments, piezo reamers, they do not cut the dentine. They just remove the gatta parcha. Then we evaluate the preparation. There should be no undercuts. If we are going for a prefabricated system, this step will be directly followed by the cementation of the post. Otherwise, if we are going for a customized, we will first make the impression. The impression can be direct or indirect. Direct means we are making the pattern in the tooth, in the mouth. We can make the pattern with the inlay wax or self-cure acrylic resin in the oral cavity, in the tooth. And in the indirect, what we do, we insert a wire over which we make a silicone impression and then we pour it. Now we will make the pattern in this model and then it will be followed by the casting. So now the pattern is ready for the investment and the casting, followed by the cementation. For cementation, we have to place the cement in the thin canal space. For this we use Lentulo spiral. That is the instrument which is used for placing the cement. Over it we place the post gently and we build the core over it depending on the material that we are using. We make a groove in the post. Okay, this helps us to allow the excess cement to escape. Okay, otherwise what will happen, the hydrostatic pressure will be generated and this can even lead to the root fracture. So now our post core system is cemented. We are ready for making the impression of the crown. I hope this video will help you to understand the topic. Now you can perfectly answer all the questions. So dear students, wish you success. Please like and share the video. Do subscribe for more learning.